This is Daniel Larimer. He is a leader in the emerging blockchain economy and has made himself a small fortune in the world of technology. He's also kind of a political activist who espouses a rather radical form of democracy. For him, America isn't America enough. Like many of his like-minded sort, Dan thinks America is pretty much the center of the world, which means it surely must play a central role in the end times. For the past 100 years or so, every generation has grappled with some theory of America in the end times. News headlines of the day are always presumed to be end-time events, and thus the political climate of the day is presumed to be the overall context of Revelation. Back in the 1980s, during the Cold War, Moscow sounded like Magog, see? And America was going to be one of the good guys against the Soviet Union. Well, that all fell apart, and then in the 90s, the European Union was the Beast of Ten Horns, and the Vatican was Mystery Babylon. Only recently, since America has kind of gone downhill, has it been associated with Revelation 18. So it's no surprise that someone like Dan Larimer, who is disillusioned with America, would see the U.S. as the primary villain of Revelation. In this 90-minute lecture from March 28, Dan lays out a very pedestrian load of eisegesis that he really seems to think is profound. He cherry-picks Bible verses that suit a narrative, some taken wildly out of context, to convince us that the exact political climate of 2024 has been prophesied. Then he goes back to Jeremiah, when ancient Babylon destroyed Jerusalem, and he pretty much reads the whole book as if Babylon were America. Jeremiah's contrast of Babylon and Zion is assumed to be about the rapture. You see, Jeremiah once promised that Zion would be restored in the aftermath of Babylon, and this totally means Christians will be raptured away to a metaphorical Zion when America meets its demise. Yes, I know that's a very foggy correlation, but what else do you expect from a rapturist? Having got that settled, Dan then reads the 70 weeks of Daniel 9, because, Babylon, to mean 70 Jubilee years or something, after the start of modern Israel, because, fig tree. If you're starting to think this sounds a lot like a hodgepodge of rapturist tropes, you would be right. Of course, one must account for a convoluted Jubilee calendar. Oh, and don't forget to calculate your magic numbers. Dan has thus decided 2024 is the only year that mathematically makes sense, as if we've never heard that before. And as for the month, an astrological conjunction on October 9 will clearly be the image of Revelation 12. And this is Dan's great rapture theory. The BRIC alliance, led by Russia, will shoot several nuclear weapons at America, which will succeed in destroying American cities, and that is the time when we will be raptured away to Zion before the end-time events commence. And this will all occur on or about October 9, 2024. It honestly saddens me to see a smart guy like Dan Larimer put out such poor content. His material isn't any better than that of Chooch or Repo Man or Marianne Hall. Of course, I do believe the Lord could appear any time, but I highly doubt that Dan's new rapture theory will amount to anything. Dan, I beg of you, if we are still here in November, do us all a favor and go back to what you are good at. Stay away from rapturism.